Hey everyone, TGIF. We finally made it to another weekend. Here's hope it's a good one, at least a very cool one. Without further ado, let's continue to read of How to Kill a Monster. Chapter 21. Clark! I shouted impatiently. What does it say? Clark began to read the letter out loud. Dear Gretchen and Clark, he started. The paper fluttered between his trembling fingers. We're sorry to do this to you, but we had to leave. A few weeks ago, a swamp monster invaded our house. We captured it in the room upstairs. Then we didn't know what to do with it. We didn't have a car, so we couldn't get to a phone to call for help. We've lived in terror for the past few weeks. We were afraid to let the monster out. It's so loud and angry all the time. We know it would have killed us. My knees started to wobble as Clark continued. We didn't want to tell your parents about the creature. If we did, they wouldn't have let you come. We don't get many visitors here. We wanted so much to see you. But I guess we were wrong. You should have gone to Atlanta with your mother and father. I guess we were wrong to let you stay. They guessed they were wrong. They guess! I shrieked. Can you believe them? Clark peered up from the letter. His face was white. Even his freckles seemed to disappear. He shook his head, stunned. Then he continued to read our grandparents' letter. We've been feeding the creature. Slipping through an opening, Grandpa saw it in the bottom of the door. The monster eats a lot, but we had to feed him. We were afraid not to. We know it's unfair to run off now, but we're just going for help. We'll be back as soon as we can find someone. Someone who knows what to do with this horrible beast. Sorry, kids. We really are. But we had to bolt you inside the house. That's a dumbass move. To make sure you didn't wander into the swamp by yourselves. It's not safe out there. Oh, being inside with a house of a monster is safer? Not really. Were they for real? Yeah, I understand, Gretchen. I hear you, girl. Not safe out there, I cried. They left us in this house with a killer monster, and they say it's not safe out there. They're both crazy, Clark. Totally crazy. Clark nodded and continued reading. Sorry, kids. We really are sorry. But just remember one thing. You are perfectly safe as long as what? We'll find out. The monster upstairs let out a loud bellow, and Clark dropped the letter. I watched in horror as it sailed through the air, floated down to the floor, and slid under the refrigerator. Get it, Clark, I yelled. Quick! Clark stretched out on the floor and shoved his fingers under the refrigerator, but his fingers only managed to brush the tip of the paper, shoving it back. Excuse me, guys. Stop, I yelled. You're pushing it away. But Clark didn't listen. He shoved his hand in deeper. Oh, Stein, you devil, you. Groping for the letter. Or for the paper, actually. Groping for the paper. Pushing it back, farther and farther, until we couldn't see it anymore. What did it say? I hollered. You read the letter. We're perfectly safe as long as... What? I didn't get to that part, Clark stammered. I wanted to strangle him. I spun around and frantically searched for something to slip under the refrigerator to ease out the letter, but I couldn't find anything slim enough or long enough. Everything was way too big to fit underneath. Clark tore open the kitchen cabinets and drawers, looking for something we could use. The monster stomped on the floor above us. The ceiling quaked. A dish fell off the counter and shattered on the cold gray tiles, shattered into 1,000 tiny pieces. Oh no, I moaned, staring up at the ceiling, watching the paint crack and crumble. He's down to the second floor. He's coming closer. We're doomed, Clark groaned. He's going to catch us and... Clark, we have to move the refrigerator. We have to find out what it says in the rest of that letter. Clark and I tugged in the refrigerator. We pushed and tugged with all our strength. Upstairs, the monster roared an angry roar. We tugged harder. The refrigerator began to move. Clark knelt down and peered underneath it. Push, he told me. Bugs just love me. Sorry. Push! I could see a corner of the letter. Push! Just a little more. I gave the refrigerator one more hard shove, and Clark had it. He grasped the corner of the letter between his thumb and index finger and pulled it out. He shook the paper to free a clump of dust that clung to it. Just read it, I shouted at him. Read it. Clark started to read again. You are perfectly safe as long as... As long as what? We'll find out next time in Chapter 22. Love you guys. Have a good weekend and bye-bye.